Your lordship, this is the wonder.
Come here, child. Come closer. So you are the wonder.
Yes? I'm Wanda Signuson.
Why are you here?
Rykov has arrested your daughter, Professor Saknussem, and put her on trial.
What's gonna happen to her?
Lord Over is trying to decide whether to release you and your daughter, or to terminate your lives.
How does it look? I don't know, I'm in there.
Oh, everything depends on Wanda.
I'm no explorer or adventurer, and I'm not here to hurt your world. I just want to find my dad, and that's why I'm here. And for no other reason, sir.
Oh, please.
I'm Wanda Saknussem, a waitress from L.A. who should have never come here. And I just really want to go home now.
Junk food supper. Junk food supper. Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food
Junk
supper.
food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Welcome to Junk Food Supper, episode number 19. Still the world's number one Journey to the Center of the Earth podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sean Byron, joined as always by my trusty Icelandic tour guide, Parker Bowman. Mr. Bowman, how are you doing on this rare late night record session for a podcast?
I'm doing good. I know usually we record earlier than this, but it was late at night, and I said to myself, "Let's get those pickled icemen on the horn, or,
On the blower, I
whatever
believe.
it is, on the blower." That's right. Pickled icemen on the blower.
I think there's no better time to do so than late at night, you know? This is when the ghouls are at play.
Exactly. I mean, it's so late at night that we're going to mess up our own drops and references. That's how late at night it is. We're going to mix up horns and blowers.
Absolutely. Any mistake that is made on the show this week can be attributed to the fact that we started a few hours later than we normally do.
Also, we were recording very late last week when I said that Otis from House of a Thousand Corpses was a reference to Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. That's why that was incorrect, because we were recording that one late too. That's why I was wrong about that.
And I just appreciate the fact that we have this option now to record late. You know, historically, this podcast was tethered to a East Coast time zone. That's not conducive to late night antics for us West Coast boys.
Yeah. I grew up listening to Coast to Coast AM and Loveline, and not the Howard Stern show. So yeah, I like that late night kind of radio stuff, not that early morning radio stuff.
You're not into these shock jocks like Howard Stern and Mancow.
Well, I mean, I love Howard Stern, but I would just watch him at night on E. I wasn't tuning in at 6 a.m. No good radio happens early in the day. So I'm glad that we're out here finally fulfilling our destiny of being late night radio guys.
Well, and I'm happy to do it. This is a big week. It's going to be action packed. As I mentioned before, we are continuing our journey through the Center of the Earth movies, this time with 1988's Alien from L.A. I believe that's the year, but Alien from L.A., the Canon Pictures release. We'll be talking about that later. But before that even, we got a couple of subjects here at the top of the show. Normally, you know, we try and squeeze in one pre-movie review topic to talk about. This week we got two. That's twice as much by my math.
Yeah, roughly twice.
Yeah, approximately. And the first one being a little follow-up to our summer movie wager that we conducted what feels like 100 years ago, but I guess must have only been a few months ago. At the start of the summer, Parker Bowman and I, over, I think, on the Junk Food Desserts boner episodes, we put together our list for what we thought would be the top 10 movies box office-wise in America this summer, just within the boundaries of the summer. So there's no Super Mario movie on this list, and just in America. So there's no, I don't know, Chinese action movies or anything. It's movies that you've heard of. Well, maybe with one exception that is kind of interesting that we'll get to. But the idea is there's a website, thesummermoviewager.com, that is from another podcast. I guess I can admit another podcast put this together. But they use it to play this game where you try and predict what the movies are going to be, and their points are assigned. And this is the thrilling conclusion now where Parker and I find out who is the box office genius,
Yeah, this is very exciting. I like these things. I was on the Hollywood Stock Exchange for a long time. These kinds of games are fun to me. So I'm very into this. I'm very into the idea that you remembered that we should check up on this, because I would have forgotten. But I was very excited when we did it, and I was really looking forward to finding out who would win this competition.
Yeah, I mean, I've had this, in red ink on my calendar since we committed to doing this. I've been updating every day. I walk over to my calendar in my kitchen, and take out the little red marker, and I just write it again. I write Summer Movie Wager on each individual day, and that's how I've been remembering. Seems like it's worked.
Well, it worked out pretty good. So should we run down the rules for people if they don't recall?
Well, I think the rules are pretty complicated and maybe not even worth running down. And let's just know that, Parker and I fully understand the scoring that's at play. We know all of the rules and details about how this works. So leave that to us. I don't think the listeners necessarily need to be too concerned with that. But basically, you get a certain number of points if you hit the movie dead on. So if a certain movie was number one and you said it would be number one, you get a certain number of points. That's like the best that you can do for any given spot. And then if it's like one or two off, you also get points. And if it's completely not even on the top 10, you don't get points, etc. It's one of those kinds of deals where your proximity to accuracy kind of guides whether or not you'll win.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, so let's just go down the top 10 movies from this past summer. And I think it'll be interesting to see where we thought they would land. And I think there are some big surprises in this list. So the number one movie of the summer with $612 million domestic, it's Barbie.
Yeah, very surprising. I don't think anybody would have guessed this at the beginning of summer. Certainly not me.
Well, I feel like I blew it because, I've been on that Barbie train for a while. Famously, I spent all my time in Las Vegas when you guys were trying to party at tiki bars. I was hanging out with Barbie at the Barbie exhibit. And true. I could have put this at number one. I thought about putting this at number one. And man, it's one of my great regrets that I did not. But where did you land Barbie on your list?
I put it very low. I put it at number 9. Which I remember even at the time that we did this, I was like, I'm putting this maybe too high. This is a gamble because I thought it would be much lower, as possibly we all did. I think that you probably put it higher than me because, as you said, you were a big Barbie proponent from the beginning.
I had Barbie listed at number 2.
Oh my God.
Which netted me 7 points in a calculation that I fully understand.
Mm-hmm. That is wild. Yeah, I guess only you could have foreseen this because, I don't think if you would have asked many people in February what the biggest movie of the summer was going to be, probably not a lot of people guessing Barbie.
In fact, they might have guessed what landed at number 2, and I'm thinking that maybe was your number 1, although I've pretty much completely forgotten what was on your list, which is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a movie that I put in at number 4, but landed at number 2 with $381 million domestic.
Yeah, I did have Spider-Man at number 2, so I got this one correct.
Which I'm guessing netted you 7 points, but who could really be sure of this?
10 points.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's quite possibly the one. It's like the only one that I really got any big points on. Spoiler alert! But a movie that I was very excited for, that I thought the people in the world would be excited for, and I guess I was right on the latter half. I didn't necessarily like this movie, but I'm glad that it did well. I was a little let down by it though, but I'm now that it got me a lot of points, I should rewatch it. Maybe I'll like it a lot more.
Yeah, and
where did you have this one?
I had this at number 4. I had some confidence in it, but I don't know too much about these superhero movies, and I feel like overall, the shine is kind of fading from these guys. I think maybe the cartoon ones are a bit of an exception, as is the next superhero movie that we'll talk about. But it feels like, and we'll see this, I guess, further down the list, that some of these superhero movies are underperforming.
Yeah, big time. But yeah, I think you're right. I think people are liking these animated ones a bit more.
Well, the next one, the number 3 movie of the summer at $358 million, is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. A movie that I listed at number 3.
Oh, see, what do you get? 10, 7 points, 7, 10?
I believe I get 10 points, yeah.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, I had this at number 1, so I only got 5 points. But it was a good movie, so I'm feeling good about it. Maybe
the last good Marvel movie. We'll see. With the exit of James Gunn and the waning popular interest, this might be the last one that's a widespread success.
That very well could be. I don't think I'm excited about any of the upcoming ones. I don't think. Although there's a rumor on the internet that Sam Raimi is doing the next Avengers, and that will get me excited. But outside of that, I don't really care anymore.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you care about the number 4 movie of the summer that garnered $310 million at the box office? And did you even see it yet? I guess I don't know. Oppenheimer, the Chris Nolan vehicle.
I have not seen it, no. And I've had so little esteem for this project that I didn't even put it on my list at all.
Yeah, likewise. I had it in my quote-unquote dark horse section, where we're allowed 3 movies that we are not sure are gonna land in the top 10, but you still get 1 point. Still get 1 point allowed if it does. And so that's where I had it. So I got 1 point on my dark horse. But did you not even have it there?
No, I didn't even put it there. I put some real losers in my dark horses, it turns out. So yeah, I didn't have it there. I figured, like, Tenet bombed.
But that was a COVID release, right?
Yeah, that was a little bit because of COVID, but also his hubris of demanding the movie be put out in theaters during COVID irks me. So I don't know. So maybe I was a little bit personal on this, but didn't his one before that bomb too?
Which would have been coming off of Interstellar?
Yeah, would that have been Interstellar? Or did he have another?
Or Dunkirk? Maybe it was Dunkirk.
Oh, Dunkirk. Yeah, I think Dunkirk was... Maybe I just didn't like it. But I remember maybe it being a bomb, but I might be wrong on that. I might be tainted by my own view on it. But yeah, so I figured he was kind of done.
Well, and then Barbie came along and gave him a boost, I think. I think were this to have come out a weekend before, I don't think it would have made half as much money. I think it is that kind of Barbie effect, and people thought it was cute and funny to see both of these disparate movies on the same weekend and tweet about it or whatever, so I guess Nolan can thank that.
I think that's 100% true. Yeah, if this would come out, if this would have came out, if this would have came out at a time without a Barbie, 100% it would have done as well. Odd. How odd. What an odd thing. I bet we're going to see a lot more of that, where studios try to do some kind of Barbenheimer shtick next summer.
I think there has been a little bit of it. I can't remember now, but there was some kids movie and horror movie combo that maybe involved Saw.
Oh yeah,
the people were,
I think so. Yeah, I think
trying to make it into a meme or whatever, but it didn't feel very organic.
Yeah, that rings a bell. I think we're probably going to get a lot of that though. But
yeah,
but this one worked.
Yeah. Well, number 5 was a movie that I guess I'm kind of surprised. Well, not that surprised, but slightly surprised that it did as well as it did. The Little Mermaid came in at 5. I had it at 6, so I guess I wasn't that surprised. But I feel like when I made that choice of saying The Little Mermaid would be at 6, it was based on, I don't know, just like a you can't bet against Disney sort of sentiment, but this has looked pretty bad the entire time I've been aware of its existence. I don't know why it even does need to exist. That original cartoon was, cute and fun and I think delivered on what it was supposed to be. And this thing just looks, I don't know, like the visual effects look bad to me. Like the water looks all like murky and it's kind of a weird looking movie from the trailer, but did well enough to hit number 5, 298 mil.
Yeah, I agree. This is weird. Like, I mean, when you're doing movies like this for little kids, it's like just re-release the cartoon. Like little kids aren't going to give a shit. Like little kids would probably prefer to see like the cartoon. You'd probably make more money just re-releasing the original. But anyway, so I had it at number 10. I thought it was going to do bad because it looked bad, and then also racists were really mad about it. So I thought it was going to do really bad. But I got a couple of points off of it.
Well, speaking of strong politics, here's a movie that I think nobody could see coming. The Sound of Freedom somehow is the number 6 movie of the summer, beating multiple long-standing, multi-million-dollar franchises, beating some really huge movies that cost probably 10 times as much or more to make. I have no idea what the budget was on Sound of Freedom. I'm guessing it was pretty minimal because this is a movie that was shot several years ago and just kind of sat on a shelf because nobody wanted to release it. And then they cooked up some wild marketing idea where you could pay it forward and have tickets purchased for people who couldn't afford it. And I think that alone, maybe also combined with some potentially shady kind of ticket buying on the behalf of the producers themselves, push this all the way up to number 6. And that's, I don't think anybody, Barbie was a surprise, but Sound of Freedom, that's, I think, the real surprise. Who the hell knew this was coming?
Yeah, I think even, even if like, say 10% of that was because of like the producers buying tickets for nobody, like it still obviously was like a big thing. Obviously people were going to this. And I think that that's really interesting. The 3 of the biggest movies this summer were, like a surreal study of gender politics, like this kind of like low budget, socially aware action movie, and a docudrama about science. Like I think that that's super cool, and I'm interested to see if that bodes well for the future. But I don't really know a lot about this movie. I didn't see it or anything. I didn't have it on my list clearly.
Yeah, I think it's generally kind of thought of as a kind of QAnon type movie. I haven't seen it. I don't know that much about it specifically either, but it's kind of the reputation that it carries. So, I know that you love to have problematic idols in your life, but be careful when you say that you're excited about the prospect of there being more sounds of freedom.
Well, yeah, but yeah, well, not exactly Sound of Freedom, I guess. You know what I mean?
Well, a movie that I was excited for, but didn't expect to do very well, somehow did much worse than I expected, but still landed exactly where I thought it would, which is a movie that made $174 million. I thought probably would have made a lot more, but I guess I just didn't expect the number 7 slot at the box office to be as low as it was this year. And I'm talking about Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. Where did you have this?
I had this, I think, begrudgingly at number 5. Like, I feel like I was second guessing myself on this because I thought it was going to bomb really hard. But then I was like, oh, well, it's Spielberg and boomers and Gen X people are going to go out to see this, no doubt. And it turns out they didn't. So I probably should have went with my original thoughts, but I know you were high on this.
Well, I was not high on the movie. I was excited for it, for sure. I mean, but when I saw it, it was quite a bummer. This is, I think, a far worse film than the Shia LaBeouf one. That one just makes this look like complete trash, and it is complete trash. It's just a very boring, very depressing movie with really crummy action scenes that are seriously hampered by this terrible CGI de-aging shit and, CG stunt doubles in a series that was, known for having a great practical feel to it. You know what I mean? Just the whole movie bums me out. It bums me out to see Harrison Ford, as old as he is, still trying to do this, and it just does not come off as cool whatsoever. But what is cool is that somehow I lucked into that number 7 placement, so I got 10 points on this guy.
Ah, nice. I only got 5 points from this.
You should have had it at number 7, I guess.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 8 with 170 million, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Where did you have this on your list?
This is another one that I kind of second guessed myself. I thought that this would not do that well because I figured people cause I think these movies are boring. But then I was like, well, Top Gun just last year was like the biggest fucking movie of all time. So this is obviously going to do well. So I had it at number 3. So I got 3 points off of this, but another one of these, I should have just trusted my gut. Should have went off my own personal feelings.
I mean, you were not alone in thinking that the Top Gun effect would be a massive boost to this movie, because I thought this would do, gangbusters at the box office. I had it at number 1. I thought Tom Cruise was due for a back-to-back box office reign, but it was not to be. I was really shocked that people didn't come out for this. I feel like these movies are a lot of fun. I don't know. These are the kinds of action movies that I grew up watching. Things like Lethal Weapon or Die Hard. They don't really make them like this anymore, I feel like. And it's sad to think that we might soon live in a world where they're not making these at all. These high budget, practical effects laden, high octane action movies. I'm sure there's always going to be a market for smaller kind of thrillery action movies. You're always probably going to have a Liam Neeson parachuting into Europe and punching some Russian dudes in the face or whatever. But something like this at this scale, it's not going to happen if people don't go out and support it.
True. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they make them, I'm glad Tom Cruise is getting money, I guess. But I don't know. I think that putting Part 1 in the title probably turned a lot of people off because they're like, I don't want to pay for half a movie, which is the Spider-Verse movie is like that. It just gets cut off right in the middle of the movie. And then they're like, come back for Part 2 next year. And when I saw it on opening night and the theater was packed and everybody was like, oh, that's fucking bullshit. everybody left mad.
Yeah.
So,
but mad after they already paid for their ticket,
Well, yeah.
They were smart enough not to put it in the title.
Yeah. So I think that, if that movie would have fessed up to only being a Part 1, it probably wouldn't have done as well. So I think people are turned off by that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that you could have very easily just called this Dead Reckoning because, I mean, all of the movies have, whatever dumb subtitle that they have, and it doesn't really matter to anyone, what is the distinction where these two even need to be grouped together? It's a continuous serialized story for the most part between these movies anyways, so give them 2 different titles. Who fucking cares,
Yeah. I think, there's another movie on this list that also does a cliffhanger leading into a Part 2. And I think that maybe people are just trying to they saw it work for Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War, where those 2 movies came back a year apart and they were parts 3 and 4 and they went together. So I think maybe Hollywood was like, oh, people love that. That's going to, let's all just do that. So, and it kind of backfired.
I think we're also now living in a time where we've got a generation of filmmakers who grew up watching quote unquote prestige television. And I feel like the one thing that prestige TV does over and over again is give you these kind of cliffhangers. And I feel like movie making in general has moved towards kind of a more TV-ish like look and feel. Not just visually, but also just like in terms of how these things are, narratively structured.
Yeah, true.
Speaking of narrative structure, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts was number 9 at the box office, 157 million. I had pretty minimal belief in the Transformers franchise at this point. It feels like it's probably pretty long in the tooth. I'll admit I've never seen a single Transformers movie outside of the 1980s cartoon. Never saw any of these Michael Bay ones, but so I had it at a dark horse. It did land at number 9, netted me 1 point.
I got 7 points for this because I had it at number 8.
Oh, look at you, a fancy boy.
I thought it would do well because it's like kind of a reboot. So I figured people would be like, oh, well, if it's not part of that shitty continuity that we all thought sucked before, and it's a new thing, then people would show up for that. And I guess they kind of did.
Did you see this one, or have you seen others in this franchise?
I've seen a few of them. I've seen like the first 2, and then I saw that Bumblebee movie that came out a couple years ago, which was also like kind of a reboot of the franchise, and that one was kind of good. But I mean, they're mostly pretty bad.
Yeah, they look like trash to me. Also trashy looking was Elemental, coming in at number 10, 153 million. I think a big surprise for the industry overall, probably, that Pixar movies are not doing so great anymore. They used probably, if there was a Pixar movie coming out, even, not knowing what the story was or, what the characters were going to be, just a few years ago, I feel like almost anybody would have thought it would be probably in the top 5 of the summer. But here it is, Elemental, all the way down at number 10. I thought that this would do a bit better than it did. I had it at number 8, got 5 points on it. But you have to imagine the people over at Pixar are disappointed in this number 10 placement.
Yeah. I mean, I think Pixar's as a brand has like just been like so watered down. It's like once you start putting out like Cars Part 4, it's like people are just going to be like, well, it's not the same as it was. We don't need to go see them all. And I think that, I don't know if it was the last one that they put out, because like they put out so many now, but like that jazz one was like really fucking bad.
So yeah, I hated that one. Did you watch it?
I did. Yeah, that movie sucked. So maybe that hurt this too, but they put out so many of them that I don't know, maybe not, but
maybe
I had no interest.
Maybe this movie Elemental, though, if you're lucky, might actually be about jazz or a jazz musician rather than this last one that you sold me on a movie about jazz, and then it's about a white lady who turns into a cat.
Mm-hmm. Both the old switcheroo with that movie.
Yeah. Rounding out the top 13 here, we've got Fast X, The Flash, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. These were these on my list? Oh yeah, I had Fast X at number 5. I had The Flash at number 9, and I had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem at number 10. So didn't get any points for these.
Yeah, I did not either. I had these pretty high. I had Fast X at number 6. Those movies used to make a lot of money, and then just, I don't know, I think the last one like maybe sucked or something, and so people kind of seem like they have abandoned this. This is that other movie that ends in a cliffhanger, even though I didn't see it, but I've heard about the cliffhanger. So yeah, I don't know. I guess people are over these now. I had Ninja Turtles at 7, and because I thought this generation was ready to have their Ninja Turtles, and people would go out and see it, and I guess not that many people did. And I had The Flash at number 4. I thought that people our age would go see this movie 10 times in the theater because of Michael Keaton being Batman again, but I guess nobody gave a shit about that. So I was wrong.
I mean, I think this has been probably one of the more surprising summers for box office, probably in our lifetime. a lot of big names, franchise-wise, kind of fallen by the wayside, and then some scrappy newcomers like Barbie stepping in and surprising everybody, I think. So I guess, without further ado, we've gone through the list of all of the top 13. I'm ready to reveal my official score that was scored by a set of rules that, once again, we are very familiar with and fully understand and support. Do you have your score on hand?
I do. I'm looking right at it.
Man, this is tense. I'm looking at my score. I don't know your score. I don't have access to your score. I'm just going to be taking you on your word that it's been tallied properly. But I'm looking at let me ask you, actually, because I feel like I probably won based on my Barbie placement. But who knows? What is your score, though, Bowman?
My score is 36 points.
Well, I'm very pleased to announce this year in the Summer Movie Wager 2023, I got a 49.
Oh my God, that's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
I think you even beat the guys who invented this contest.
I beat the guys who invented the contest. I'm number one in the clubhouse. I think for all the users on the site, I'm like a couple hundred down or something, but I was surprised. I think it's just dumb luck because, like I said before, this was a very unpredictable year. I think I just kind of lucked into a few right guesses, but a lot of surprises this year.
Yeah, I think that Barbie one helped you out a great deal.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that was fun to play. I had fun kind of tracking on this, occasionally throughout the summer. And, it's always fun to win something, to win a contest. So
congratulations to yous. And I look forward to playing again next summer.
Yeah. We'll see how Barbie 2 and I guess probably Across the Spider-Verse 2 and maybe Guardians 4 do.
Yeah. Well, let's find out how the homeboys and the away boys have done.
Oh, okay.
That's a segue. So a few weeks ago, when we were talking about baseball, a very baseball-centric movie, we talked about other weird baseball media, and we started talking about Rock and Jock, which, if you're not an old like us, Rock and Jock was a thing that used to be on MTV, where some baseball players and some celebrities would get together and play a nice recreational ball game, and MTV they would show it like all the time, all summer long. They would show this thing. So we found one, the fourth one, which I think was from like 95 or something like that. Let me pull that up.
I thought it was 94, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, we watched one that was 94. Yeah. Filmed at Blair Field in Long Beach, California.
Long Beach, home of the long butts.
Mm-hmm.
That's their town slogan. It's on the license plates down there.
I've seen the signs.
Yeah.
They've got a good high school mascot. A butt. So we decided to watch this to get some of that fine nostalgia of watching this, because I watch these all the time. I assume you were like me and you were 10 years old and watching the hell out of these things, right?
Yeah, I mean, and this one specifically, I did remember once I started watching it, and I saw Salt and Peppa hanging out in their loose-fitting jerseys, which is certainly something that they never did anywhere else. That was exclusive to this, but I saw that and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember them playing baseball this year. Haven't seen it since, never went back to any of these since then, but yeah, as a kid, this was summertime fun.
Yeah, this might be the only one that's in its entirety on YouTube, but I didn't look that hard. This was the first one I found, so I was like, let's watch this one. But I know that there's like a lot of clips and stuff, and then eventually they spread their wings and got into like basketball and bowling and all these other weird sports. But this is Rock and Jock at its purest, I feel.
Yeah. Before they bog things down with wind surfing. Nobody needs that.
Yeah. This is back before they even included designated hitters. I mean, it's a very pure sport here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Back with the smaller bases back in 94, things were very different.
So we've got the two teams, the home boys and the away boys, which still cracks me up to this very day. I think those are very funny names for teams. On the home boys, we have Corbin Burnson, who is the team coach, and the shortstop, Chuck D, Ken Griffey Jr., Jose Canseco, Bon Jovi, Gary Sheffield, Tretch from Naughty by Nature, Brady Anderson, who's a real baseball player apparently, Scott Ian, Drew Gooden, David Bryan, who's also from Bon Jovi but isn't Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora, another Bon Jovi, and Flavor Flav, whose number is 911, which is very funny. So those are a lot of, like, it's funny because, like, it's a lot of, like hip hop was very popular apparently this summer. So, like, it's like a lot of hip hop guys and, like, rock and roll, like pop rock, like the Bon Jovis, and then also Scott Ian. Like, I don't know how Scott Ian got in there. It's
such a weird combo to see Scott Ian and Bon Jovi like fielding balls next to each other. There's just something that seems wrong about that. Like it's like if you saw like a Viking in like ancient Rome or something, you'd be like, wait, these eras are not the same, right? Yeah, it's very odd. And there's a few people who are odd on the away boys too. Dan Cortez is the shortstop and coach. Then we got Brett Michaels, which is very exciting. I'm a big Poison fan. David Justice, Michael Richards, TV's Kramer, Frank Thomas, Barry Bonds, Dweezil Zappa, who, when they like introduce everybody, like the announcers give everybody like a cute little quip when they're just like telling the audience who they are. And they said that Dweezil Zappa's father is a mother. What does that mean, Sean? Well, he's Frank Zappa from the Mothers of Invention. Ah, okay. So I knew you would know. Yeah, a funny little play on words. Okay, now I get it. But kind of a weak credit to be like, oh yeah, here's a guy, his dad's famous. Yeah, that too. Robin Ventura is also on this team. Salt, Peppa, and Spinderella, and they all are one person on the team. Like, they all batted together and run the bases together, which is very funny, I think. Roger McDowell and William Ragsdale from Herman's Head, which is like a very odd... He's not like a rock and roll guy. He's not an athlete. I don't know. It's a weird one. But based on these lineups, were you rooting for one particular team? I think I was just rooting for the sport. You know, I'm just a fan of the sport of rock and jock, you know, more than any particular squad. I just like seeing guys go out there and play good, clean ball and, you know, shake hands at the end and just have a good time out there. But it is kind of an incredible rogues gallery of 1994 specific celebrities. I mean, other than the baseball players who are like, you know, all-timer, you know, MVP, Hall of Fame type guys, except for the one guy, that Anderson guy. What a bummer to be the one baseball player in this that's not famous. But like the actual like actors, celebrities, musicians, like it is so 1994 that it's a lot of fun, you know? And these were a lot of my favorite baseball players at the time, you know, Frank Big Hurt Thomas, a definite favorite of mine, you know? Michael Kramer Richards, another, you know, favorite of mine. So it's wild to me that these guys on the baseball side were even like allowed to play this game back then. I feel like these days there'd probably be like insurance concerns. Like you can't play in a ball game that has a dirt cam. You're going to trip over that thing and get hurt, you know, the whole season's going to be over. Yeah, I mean, they're letting Kramer grill hot dogs, like, right on the baseline. Like, right on the third baseline. It's incredible. Yeah, you would think that, like, Ken Griffey Jr.'s agent or whatever would pop in and be like, this is not conducive to the boy's career, you know? Yeah. But people were hungry to be on MTV back then. I guess it goes to show what a cultural force MTV was at the time. Yeah, absolutely. Because, these are some of the biggest stars, like,
in the world, not just, some of the best baseball players like of their time, or the best baseball players from their time, pretty much. I mean, like Poison was fucking huge. Bon Jovi was huge at the time. Public Enemy was huge at the time. So like these are some of the most famous people on the planet getting together to play baseball for some reason.
Well, and not to mention the Pepsi girls, who must have ranked among the most famous people for this 1 week in 1994.
Mm-hmm. A lot of these people are so famous that when they announced Anna Nicole Smith, I don't even think they said her name. Like they were just like, hey, it's the Guess Jeans girl over here. And like 5 years later, she would be like one of the top 5 most famous people on the entire planet. It's pretty wild to see that like she's just like in the background showing her boobs from time to time here.
Yeah. And nobody really cares, It's she's being overshadowed by these giants of the 1990s, including those Pepsi Triple Threat girls, the girls.
Yeah. Another thing that I thought was incredible, an incredible time capsule, and shows you that this was before some certain scandals in baseball, is that, let's see, whose team is it? Corbin Burnson is talking about, like, he's giving the team the rundown of who's going to bat where and in what positions. And Frank Thomas bats cleanup for his team, and Jose Canseco bats 6th, which is incredible to me. Shows that maybe we were in a pre-steroids era, that Jose Canseco was not batting cleanup.
Well, I also think maybe they didn't put all that much effort into these batting lineups, or you probably would have stacked all of like your Michael Richardses at the very bottom, but they were kind of fair in alternating, I think, between people that could actually play and then your Michael Richardses. That's
true. I think Michael Richards bat 3rd. I think he was pretty high up in the order, but not a very high scoring game. I think nobody scored for like a very long time. One thing that they do in these that I think is really cool, I don't know if they do this in like real life All-Star games, because I haven't watched one in 30 years or whatever, but it's a great idea nonetheless, is that they do the home run derby as part of the game. And so all those points get added to your team's points. And I think that's a really cool idea. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it in this. I don't know why the MLB hasn't at least looked at adopting that, if not for regular season play, then why not the World Series? Spice it up. You got all these people watching the game, make it exciting. Put a derby right in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I think that would make it a lot more watchable.
The only innovation, though, that it seems like the MLB did potentially rip from this is that dirt cam. If you watch postseason baseball now, they put these little cameras like in the base. And so you can see like at dirt level, the guy's cleats running towards the camera. And it's always like the worst possible view. Like there's no reason for these base cams. I mean, outside of like the super rare, like 1 in a million chance that you might have like a close play at that base that the camera happens to be in the right position to catch, like, whether or not the guy got tagged. And that never happens. It's usually just you're looking at a guy's cleats.
Yeah. I think there was like one like foul ball that like almost hit the dirt cam at one point. Yeah. And like they were like, oh my God, this dirt cam's incredible because of this one 3 frames of a ball coming at the camera.
But I do give them credit for pulling it off. Back in 94, it's a lot easier now. Today, you just shove an iPhone into a base or whatever. You know what I mean? These cameras are tiny. They had to put a real cameraman underground and presumably, slide down some of Kramer's hot dogs to him once in a while and feed him. But yeah, I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah. I remember that, like, thinking that was cool as a kid. And another thing that I thought was cool as a kid, and I still think is cool, is that they've got cameramen in the field, and they're like in these little like fortresses, like these little like boxes made out of picket fences or something, like so that they don't get beamed by a ball. But like, so yeah, there's just like 4 or 5 like little structures on the field for cameramen. I thought that was cool.
Would you like to see that in real sports?
I would. I very much would. Although now, I mean, technology is so good that you could, you don't need them. I mean, you can zoom in from far away, but ideally, I mean, I just like the guys being out there, I guess. It seems like it'd be a fun job. So I would like it for them.
Those little shelters that they had kind of reminded me of, there's that game in American Gladiators where the guy is shooting like a cannon at you and you get to kind of make your way towards him or whatever. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. There's another thing in the field, which is like a landmine, like a lot of explosions and stuff where they're like, oh, don't go to this part of the outfield, you'll explode. But I don't think anybody ever exploded. Yeah,
they set that up, and I don't know if our copy was missing the point where somebody exploded, but I don't remember anybody exploding.
Yeah. Chekhov's explosions on this. If you're going to introduce an outfield full of bombs and landmines, you got to explode them at some point.
I like to think that, the next weekend, the Long Beach high school squad was out there practicing, and one poor kid, stepped on that landmine, and that's the last he ever saw of his team and their long-butted mascot.
Yeah, they very well could be.
Poor kid, R.I.P.
Yeah. So, to spoil the game,
yeah,
the team with the away boys. The home boys won, I think.
I just watched this like 20 minutes ago, and I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, me neither. I should have written that part down. But what I did write down is that Jose Canseco and Flava Flav of the Homeboys were co-MVPs.
Yeah.
Because Jose Canseco hit a double, and Flava Flav ran into base because of that double. If memory serves, it was a great play. Very exciting. One of the only times anybody scored in the game.
Well, and Flava Flav, I think, was very gracious to, be open to sharing his MVP title, to be a co-MVP rather than demand he get the sole recognition. I thought that was really big of him.
Yeah. He's humble, I've always said that about Flava Flav. So I don't know. I thought this was fun. I would watch more of these if they were on YouTube. I don't understand why MTV just doesn't put this shit out. Like, they've got a fucking warehouse full of cool ass shit like this. Put it out.
It's got to be music rights, right? Like I noticed there was a lot of music in this, like over some of the ball playing, there's like Prodigy tracks playing. And then I'm not sure if you noticed this, but like about 4.5 minutes into this, there's a techno remix of the Twin Peaks theme that plays. Did you hear that?
I did not notice that, no.
Yeah, you should go back and listen for that. And it's probably, I don't know, it's probably some well-known techno track from like the Chemical Brothers or somebody like this, that I just didn't know that it existed, but it's heavily sampling, that main Twin Peaks theme. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess the music rights is probably expensive, but I mean, if WWE Network can go through all the old ECWs and take out all the Pantera and stuff, like MTV can take it, just add crap. Just add
they could hire
music.
Joey Styles to redo the Dan Cortez commentaries or whatever,
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Dan Cortez, I liked the announcers in this, and I liked how they, announced all the players. And when Dan Cortez was coming out, the announcement that they gave for him was, when he's not hosting MTV Sports, he's harassing customers in fast food restaurants, which I just feel like is the kind of intro you would never get today.
Yeah. That's the kind of intro I want.
Yeah, totally.
I noticed that.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I
noticed that.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I noticed that.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I also thought this was a blast. I had a lot of fun. This was a cool kind of nostalgia trip for me. Kind of struck me watching this that this felt a lot like basketball before basketball was a thing. I mean, not in terms of the sport. I mean, this is just softball, but in terms of like the kind of attitude of it and the sense of humor of it, had kind of a basketball vibe.
Yeah, the announcers making jokes and like the rules being very like kind of relaxed, like salt and pepper all being one, one person, like stuff like that. Yeah, it does feel very basketball-y.
Yeah.
Dude's just grilling in the dugout.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
People making fun of Squeak Scolari's mom.
I thought it was weird when Dan Cortez did that.
Yeah.
How would he do that?
I guess the other kind of analog to this is like the MLB does that celebrity all-star game every all-star weekend. That I don't know how long they've been doing it, but they've been doing it for a while. And I've tried to watch a few of those, and I can never get more than like 5 minutes into those games because they are just like jam-packed with people that I don't know, don't recognize, don't care about, and whom don't seem to have any interest in playing baseball or softball. It's all these like, vloggers who don't even try to field a ball. But watching this, I mean, these are people that I recognize, care about, enjoy, and they were trying to play ball. Like Chuck D made a really gorgeous play to stop an infield grounder that Barry Bonds hit. And he did this nice kind of fall away throw to second. Granted, Doc Gooden totally blew it with an error. But cool to see like Chuck D hustling. Corbin Burnson made a great play towards the end of this game where he caught a grounder and then, actually not a grounder, caught an infield line drive through to first, got the double play. Pretty impressive stuff from these, celebrities.
Yeah, some of that stuff was really fun. Like Chuck D, his first at bat, he struck out against, I think it was Roger McDowell's his name. And then as he was walking away from the plate, like he was talking to the camera, Chuck D was, and he was like, I only struck out because I'm Starstruck. He used to be a Met, and I really like the Mets, and so that's why I struck out. And like, I just thought that was really cute. The idea that Chuck D would be like starstruck,
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so check this out. Yeah. It's on YouTube, like you said, and I think people would enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely a fun time capsule.
And stay through the credits for a little fish in the percolator moment.
It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of the percolator, it is time to check in with the voicemails. We do have a voicemail.
Okay. Let's check with it.
Let's find out where their fishes are located.
Hello, it's Will from Richmond. How about all them Godzilla trailers? Are you all as excited as me and my son for 2 Godzillas? Maybe even 3? I don't know. I heard about more. And also, we also sat down and watched the first episode of Gamera on Netflix. It was okay. It was kind of for babies, but that's what Gamera is, and it had the F word in it a lot, so that's good too. Anyway, I've been listening to you guys pretty much the entire time on Stitcher. Stitcher just died, so I am way behind. Just finished the Everybody Wants Some episode. Good to hear you guys back again. Someone set up the PayPal to get Tom from Adelaide in. I will definitely put $25 in that. We'll get on that. Anyway, all right. Talk to you later. Take care.
Thank you, Will. Yeah, I think it's imperative to get Tom from Adelaide to the meetup. If only because, like I said in the Discord, he'll be safe. If he comes out to the meetup, he'll be safe for a short time from alligators, birds, venomous snakes, and other sorts of creatures. And I just want that for him. I want him to be able to put his guard down. I know how hard it is to be Australian. Or at least I've heard about it.
Well, I would imagine that there must be some local menaces in the Ohio area, though. Like, isn't that a state that's just like teeming full of cryptids?
Yeah. Well, yeah, there is the Mothman. There's the Loveland Frog. There's some aliens. I think they're on the east side of the state, though. So yeah, there are different kinds of dangers for sure.
I mean, not to mention your proximity to Kyle from Kentucky. Yeah,
there's that. The closer you are to Ohio, the more likely it is that Kevin will show up in your dreams to beat you up. But what about these Godzillas? You've seen the new trailer, right? Are you excited about these guys?
I didn't know that there was a new trailer. I feel like we've talked about 10 million things on Discord this week, but I don't remember this coming across my Discord screen. Did I miss discussion of the Godzilla trailer, or was this happening in a vacuum where nobody was talking about it?
I think it's in there somewhere. There's been a lot of trailers lately. There's those Saw trailers. There's been a lot of developments in terms of new movies being announced. But there's going to be a new Japanese Godzilla. I think it's a sequel to Shin Godzilla, but I'm not totally sure. That might not actually be. It might be a whole new continuity. I'm not totally sure what's going on with it, but it looks good nonetheless.
I think we saw like a teaser for this, I don't know, 3 to 6 months ago that had almost nothing in it, but was just like, hey, Godzilla's coming back. And I was hyped then, and I'm hyped now. I love a good Godzilla.
Yeah, same.
And Gamera as well. I hadn't heard much about the Netflix show. I don't have Netflix at the moment, but eventually I will have Netflix again, and I guess I should dip in and try it out.
Yeah, I didn't know about this, but I'll check it out. I think I might have only seen one Gamera. I don't know too much about Gamera.
Did we ever do a Gamera on the show? I thought we did one, maybe.
Might have done one. I know we did Death Kappa, who's very Gamera-like.
Oh yeah. I think you would like the most recent Gamera movie. It's like a one-off one from like, I don't know, 2015 or something like this, and it's kind of charming. It's a good one.
Yeah, I'd be willing to check these out. Also, yeah, R.I.P. Stitcher. I used Stitcher for a long time for my podcast needs. I've been using Pocket Casts for like 5 or 6 years now, and it's like the best thing. I love it so much. It's the best around. So try to switch to that. If you're out there and you're a sad orphan from Stitcher, RIP. What's your podcast app of choice, Sean?
I'm old school. I've been Apple Podcast since day one.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good one. That's the OG.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really complain. It downloads the shows and it plays them. Is it fancy? No. But it works.
Yeah.
I will say I've noticed an issue with a lot of podcasts that I listen to that I think is maybe related to like dynamic ad placement or something like this. But there's a number of shows that I listen to that, and this is like started happening in the past couple of years, and it's happened to me now on 2 different phones. So I know it's not just like my one specific phone doing it, but it's a thing where like I'll be listening and the show will just like either cut forward a few minutes or cut back a few minutes, and it will be all kind of like slightly jumbled chronologically. Like it'll give me like a minute of the future, like a minute of like 3 minutes in the future, and then it will cut back to where it would have been, and then it'll like skip over that part that it gave me, but it's like clearly like shuffled out of order. I think it's maybe related to the ad placement stuff, but I don't know. But it's always makes me feel like I'm having some psychotic break when it happens.
I'm glad to hear you say this because I've noticed this too, and I thought that I was just having strokes or something. But I think you may be onto something with the ad thing, because I've only noticed it on like some of the more like big budgety podcasts I listen to that have like
Earwolves and
ads
stuff
in them.
Yeah,
like the Ringer verse podcasts and stuff. Like, so that very well could be.
Which that's kind of a crazy thing to think about. Like I don't really think about it too much, that when you're downloading a podcast, that they've got a copy that is like specifically cooked up for you, that has ads that are like geared towards you. And that's, I don't know, it's something kind of weird about that. It's one thing when I'm watching a YouTube video and they kind of pull in a relevant ad at that point, but something about like this was already prepared for me, and I'm downloading these ads that are custom tailored to me to my phone. Pretty weird. What a weird, wild world we live in.
I think that is weird.
Joke's on them, though, because most of the podcast ads I get are in Spanish. I don't speak it. So, got no clue what the hell they're saying, except for the McDonald's one. I mean, I can recognize that, but, yeah, what a wild time.
Yeah, you can't be propagandized if you don't speak the language.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. But
well, speaking of propaganda,
I do still want one of those double cheeseburgers, though.
Yeah, those things are good.
Yeah.
Speaking of being propagandized, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we return, we're going to be talking about a Jules Verne movie by the name of Alien from L.A., so stick around.
Yeah, directed by Jules Verne.
Mm-hmm. He's my second favorite director behind Kino Lorber.
By rail, by land, by sea, our journey starts. Two men incensed by one man's journey from the past. In Iceland, where the mountain stood with pride, they set off with their guide to reach the mountain side. Boat is one for safety through their long descent into the crater of volcanic rock they went. Look up through their telescopic glare, one star for us to share. We continue on our prayer.
Pretty little. I love you. So I stroke it, I pet it.
JumpFoodTech.com is the world's oldest and sexiest website. JumpFoodTech.com is the world's oldest and sexiest website.
I get all excited. Yeah, I love my little naughty pet. You're naughty.
The world's oldest and sexiest website is JumpFoodTech.com.
And I take my naughty pet.
The world's oldest and sexiest website is JumpFoodTech.com.
Oh! I killed her! I killed her! I killed her! I killed her!
was, she came in towards the end of the casting, and we hadn't really found anybody yet that worked really well. What I liked about Kathy was, one, she was physically, I mean, she was a big girl.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, I thought that fit what we wanted to try to do, and to establish some different physicality differences between people on the surface of the earth and people who had to live, closer to the center of the earth, where the gravity would be much more intense and probably stunt their growth a little bit. So that was kind of when I saw Kathy and she came in for her audition, that's what I realized right away, that she was kind of the perfect choice, because I think she came in a big fur coat too, and so she just filled the whole room because she was tall and statuesque. That was also the era where hair was bigger, and so it really fit the image that I had thematically for the movie.
Let me get that snap, Boo.
When we auditioned her and had her read, his voice came out of her that was kind of shocking. It was a very high-pitched sort of little girl's voice, and I thought that worked also because of the idea of being an adult trapped in a child's body, which I wanted to explore in the movie.
Please, Robbie, give me a chance. What don't you like about me, and I'll change.
All right, your glasses make you look stupid, your hair's ugly, you dress like a nerd, you walk like a clod, and your voice gives me a headache. Is that enough?
No.
Come on, you look great. He looks great.
He does look great.
Come on.
You owe me a big favor, Nelson. Shut up, bro. Don't look at my clock. Can we just get on with this, please?
Okay, McCamba, just like we practiced at my wild Irish Ireland.
Or in the Gaelic, Aaron go brawless.
Oh, don't start. Come on.
Sorry.
Oh, Kathy, my wild Ireland lassie, you're not just an island to me. With your sparkling green eyes and skin alabaster, you've stolen my heart, you see.
Oh, Kathy, who squeaks with the voice of an angel, I don't think you're so big a bone. I'd like to come over and roll in your clover and kiss your blarney stone.
Come on. No improvising.
Sorry, I was just going with my feelings, you big mush.
Let's just skip to the chorus.
Stay
Kathy, my soprano lassie, I'll adore you till the end of time.
It's a little predictable, isn't it, Nelson?
Come on, just do your part.
Oh.
No, in the voice.
Oh, Mikey, it's you that I like. You're a bitch and green. With those baby blue things and the stuff that you wear. And your shoes are really choices.
Mike, it's me, Tom. Mike, no, Mike, Tom here. Tom, Mike, the chorus.
What? Oh, the chorus.
Happy, happy, you made me happy. I will love you till the end of time.
Oh, Kathy, come back and delicious young Kathy. 'Tis only for you that I fight. I'll make all of your enemies die for the sins. I'll love you till movie song. It is movie song. Let's go.
Attention, all citizens of the underground empire of Atlantis. We have reason to believe that our city is under invasion by an alien from a strange world called Los Angeles. Any invasion by aliens is counterproductive to the future of our great city-state.
Meet Wanda, a typical California girl who took a very untypical trip to Africa and found herself on a journey downward through a bottomless pit that led to the center of the earth.
Where are you from? I'm in a town. It's dangerous for strangers in Atlantis. People get kidnapped.
Wanda has found the adventure of a lifetime and the romance of her dreams, if only she can live through it.
Find this bill and lots of little money will be yours. It's you! I've won! There she is! Hey! Stop!
Kathy Ireland is Wanda, and Wanda is the alien from L.A.
To Junk Food Supper, episode number 19, and episode number 4 in terms of our continuing journey to the center of public domain movie making, because we'll be reviewing yet another Jules Verne Journey to the Center of the Earth movie, but this one's a little bit different. It's Alien from L.A. from 1988, directed by Albert Pune, and this one has kind of an interesting production history where apparently, to give it in brief, the story goes something like Canon Pictures at the time was working on their own straight-up adaptation of Journey to the Center of the Earth, just called Journey to the Center of the Earth, directed by a guy named Rusty Lemarand, who I'm sure we'll talk about more in a couple of weeks. But you know, I think I can just say right now, we all know Rusty Lemarand. We're all very familiar with him and his works. But he was making this movie, Journey to the Center of the Earth, for Canon Pictures, and it was not going well. I think the guy didn't really have the experience required to mount a full film feature production, and they knew that they had to call in somebody more qualified to finish the picture for them. So Canon called in this guy, Albert Pune, who would go on to make all kinds of schlocky favorites. But at this point in time, he was just kind of the hired gun to save their production of Journey. And so he came in and he said, yeah, I'll finish this movie for you. In fact, I'll do it for free if you'll give me the chance to make another movie at the same time. I want to make my own damn movie. I got this great idea for a movie. It's basically Journey to the Center of the Earth. So this guy, Albert Pune, effectively makes 2 Journey movies at the same time, I think mostly using like the same sets. But one of them was closer to his heart, and that one is Alien from L.A., kind of his version of the Journey saga. That's a little bit different than other interpretations of the story. The straight up Journey movie would come out from Canon, I think either later in the year 1988 or maybe the following year, 89 perhaps. But this came out first. And so let's talk about what Alien from L.A. is. The movie opens up on a Los Angeles beach with some L.A. beach babes, one of whom is Kathy Ireland, playing the lead in this. She's playing Wanda Sock-Newsom, presumed relative of the Sock-Newsom clan that we've seen, throughout all of these Journey movies. In this first scene down there at the beach, her boyfriend is breaking up with her because, according to him, she suffers from chronic car sickness, and also because her glasses make her look like a nerd, and because her voice gives him a headache. These are things that he actually says, which is kind of funny.
One of the greatest breakup spiels in cinema history, for sure. Like, he just goes on and on about all the stuff he hates about this woman.
Yeah, who, we're just meeting right now. And so, initially you're thinking, okay, this is our lead, this is our hero, she's going to be heroic in some way. And then for like the first couple minutes of the movie, we're just learning about all these negative attributes about her. I think it's kind of a interesting way to open up the movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a very good shorthand way of telling you that this girl is now a loser, but perhaps her story arc will be that she becomes not a loser.
Yeah, because that is, one of the things that this beach bum boyfriend highlights is an overall lack of a sense of adventure on the part of Kathy Ireland. So will she become a more adventurous sort throughout the runtime of this movie? Well, probably, and we'll get to that. But first, Kathy Ireland is just kind of bummed out and ends up talking to her friend there on the beach, and they drive over to what has got to be one of the coolest looking diners I've seen in a movie in a long time. It's called Saks, S-A-K-S. So I guess it's presumably owned by her family, the Sack-Newsoms. But it's in this building that looks kind of like an old donut shop location or something. It's like this very angular kind of fast food style building that has all these big plate glass windows on the outside. And, it's got like these cool records hanging up all over the place. And the waitresses are roller skating and there's skateboarders hanging outside the front. Just looks like a cool ass diner. I don't know. I really like this location.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I feel like we've probably seen it in a movie before. Like, it's like, yeah, it feels familiar, but I mean, maybe it's just like that kind of place because it's a diner. But yeah, I thought this place was cool.
Something in my memory is telling me that it was in like Hamburger, the motion picture, maybe, or I don't know what it would have been in, but it's very cool looking.
I thought maybe it was the place where the guy in the band works in Shock 'em Dead, the Tracy Lords movie. That's what I was thinking in my memory, but I don't know. I didn't look it up or anything. I'm probably way off, but it's that kind of place.
It's one of those, and right at home in this movie. Looks really cool. She's a waitress there, and she's kind of bored with her dead-end, boring-ass life in L.A., despite it being the greatest city in the world with the coolest-looking 1950s diners. Somehow she's bored. And she gets a letter from abroad explaining that her dad fell into a bottomless pit and died. And the movie actually says in the letter, it actually says bottomless pit. And the return address on this letter says Deepest Africa. That's the return address, which I think are two funny-ish jokes right in a row that kind of give you a clue as to what the tone of this movie is going to be. Which is, endearingly cheesy. This is a movie that will have some funny little goofball things that are goofball on purpose, which, sometimes I complain about as being kind of a cop-out. I think if you lean on that too heavily and your whole movie is just, funny goof-em ups, that can be kind of grating after a while. But in the right dosages, I think it can make for a fun time, especially for me, when you're dealing with low budget movies from the 1980s, I think a little bit of cheesy goofiness is kind of just what the doctor ordered.
Mm-hmm. I like silliness. I'm on record as liking silliness.
I knew that about you, actually. Anyhow, as you would expect, she has to fly over to Africa to check on her dad's death. But when she gets there, she finds out that he was trying to find a passageway to the center of the earth. Dun, dun, dun. He's also got a notebook with some notes that say some things about Atlantis, some things about ancient aliens, some things about other History Channel type stuff. But before she can get too deep into that, she opens up a closet, and wouldn't you know it, there's a giant hole in the closet that leads down to the center of the earth, which she falls into like a real fucking idiot. And it's just one of the goofiest turns of events in a movie that's already kind of established itself as this is going to be kind of a goofy movie. But even, I think by that measure, it's still very silly to see her open a closet and there's just a hole that goes to the center of the earth and she falls into it.
It's very silly, but it's like kind of no more silly than some of the stuff in the other ones, like the guys like being like, oh man, we're going to die here at the center of the earth. And then like stumbling upon like a wind that blows them right back up into Iceland and stuff like that. So it's like pretty on par for this story.
Yeah, or they're just like being unexplained sources of light underground, where they're just like, it looks like daytime down here. Don't worry about it,
Mm-hmm. There's beaches. Why not?
Yeah, of course. But very goofy. And so then she's kind of bumbling around down there in the center of the earth, having somehow survived this fall that you would think would be fatal if you're falling all the way down into the center of the planet. But she's fine. She just kind of dusts herself off, starts bumbling around, bumps into a gruff sort of a dude who looks like Bill Paxton, but rocks a fake Australian accent. He's a guy named Gus, who will sort of be her guide through the city of Atlantis, which is where she has ended up. And this version of Atlantis is kind of like, well, it's not your grandpappy's Atlantis, it's not your typical aquatic wonderland with like Roman style statues. This is more of like a Mad Max kind of dusty, deserty hellscape, sort of like a post-apocalyptic kind of Atlantis, I guess, with a lot of dangers that Kathy Ireland and her friend Gus will encounter. They travel through some sets that are kind of Blade Runner-ish, I guess, but maybe a little bit more colorful than the sets in Blade Runner. Almost actually like Total Recall's Mars sets that would be, I think, a couple years after this when Total Recall came out. Also kind of reminded me of the movie The Running Man a little bit, but very colorful in that kind of late 80s way. And, they even get to visit this cool goth / new wave nightclub / restaurant where people eat worm sandwiches and do needle drugs while listening to industrial music. I thought that was a cool club. Reminded me of my youth at the Rathskeller in Boston. So fun to see all that stuff. Then it turns out that, wouldn't you know it, Kathy Ireland is not alone in terms of being able to survive this, again, what must be a fatal drop for any normal person, but both her and her dad, it turns out, survived the fall into the center of the planet. So we find out that he's still alive. We find out that both he and her are considered to be alien invaders by the Atlanteans who end up abducting her. This leads to the involvement of the mysterious crime boss, Mambino, played by Deep Roy, and also some other various shadowy government types. And this stuff with Deep Roy, to me, feels a lot like a David Lynch movie. And not just because he's like a little person, But the way that they shoot him in this, like, well, first of all, he's got these improbably long eyelashes for no explained reason. Like, part of his costume is this crazy eyelash situation that he's dealing with. And then the way that they shoot him in this scene is like primarily through this huge magnifying glass that he's holding up to his face. So his face looks all kind of, surreal and distorted. Very Lynchy, and I thought this stuff. Did you get that kind of a vibe from the Deep Roy segment?
Now that you mention it, yeah. Like it's very surreal. And it definitely feels like sort of like if David Lynch had maybe directed Total Recall, like you said. Like it's dystopian, but it's like fun and alive in a way that like the Mad Max movies kind of aren't. Like Mad Max is like very kind of like a sad dystopian apocalypse, and like, it seems like, I mean, Total Recall is too, but like people are having fun and they're at the bar and drinking and stuff. And like, that's kind of what this is. It's like, it seems like, sure, if you lived here, your life would suck, but you'd also like have a little bit of fun on the side. And Deep Roy seems like he's having the most amount of fun because he can afford to dress a little bit flamboyantly. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I would say it's got some of those Lynch vibes. It's got some of those Dune vibes. It feels like his Dune a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly. I think it feels a lot like his Dune. There's also some dudes in this who look like vampires. I'm not really sure that I know what the hell their story was, but they're in this. And all the while, Gus's fake Australian accent makes him say the word alien like alien, which is kind of fun. And I don't know why they made this guy do that accent, to be honest with you. Like, he's not an Australian actor. He's from America, but he's leaning real hard into this thing. And it doesn't make sense to me. I'm pretty sure that they don't even have Australia down there in the center of the earth. So I don't know if he maybe just kind of misread the script and thought Atlantis said Australia or something. I don't know. But he, he leans into it for sure.
Yeah. I mean, good for him for trying something, I guess, I'm not gonna be mad at him.
Yeah. And that's most of the movie. I'll just go ahead and spoil the entire ending in detail when I say, yes, this is one of those movies where the villain is defeated in the climactic battle with a single punch to the face. So that's fun. And then Wanda takes a hot air balloon to the, up the volcano shaft, back to the surface. And yeah, I mean, from an overall movie perspective, you can't really, I don't think, call this thing a total success. The main story I felt like was not really compelling whatsoever. The action is fairly minimal and not that impressive. Like there's no dinosaur battles on an underground lake or nothing like that. There's no Icelandic tour guides. Certainly no Gertrude the Goose. And on the whole, I would say that Kathy Ireland's character is fairly annoying. Her voice did kind of give me a headache, but I enjoyed the visuals quite a lot in this. I think there's a lot of cool looking stuff in this, from the cool sets, and there's a few cool Mad Max style cars, cool costumes. Most of these people underground have like weird kind of new wave sort of get-ups that are fun to see. And the HD pixels are pretty good right now. So it's probably never been a better time to watch this. Overall, it moves quickly enough that I never felt bored while watching it. And maybe that's faint praise, but sometimes that's enough. Maybe coming off a week where we watched 3 movies that were, various levels of, unpleasant. This is just kind of a fun, silly time. And, if you're looking for some kind of a dusty, post-apocalyptic, badass babe kind of a movie to pair maybe on a double bill with like Tank Girl or something like that, I think you could do a lot worse than Alien from L.A. But what did you think about this?
Well, when you picked this, I was excited because it's a little bit different from those old dusty, musty, stodgy versions of this movie. So I was excited for that. Also, I had like fond memories of this movie. I was like, oh, like I think I even said when you picked this, oh yeah, I think I like that movie. And then I went to Letterboxd to see if I had like rated it or anything, and I rated it very lowly. And I was like, well, why is that? Why do I have fond memories of this then? And I think I just have a Pavlovian fond memory response to the fact that it was on Mystery Science Theater. I think that's why I like it. But I was like, well, I've got fond memories of this. Maybe me from 10 years ago or whatever on Letterboxd didn't give it a good rating, but I'll give this a go. Maybe I'll like it this time. And I did for a bit. I like everything up until Kathy Ireland falling into the bottomless pit. Like all that stuff is fun. Like when she's on, oddly enough, for a movie where the whole conceit is how wacky the underground world is. I liked everything above ground a lot more. Like the breakup scene is very silly. Like Kathy Ireland she feels as much out of like a fish out of water, like in Venice Beach or wherever she is, like as she does underground. So it's like, it's fun to watch her, either place. And I just kind of had more fun watching her be like a fish out of water weirdo, like at that burger joint and on the beach, than I did in that loud ass underground where everybody's hollering all the time. So, but yeah, like once they get underground, like it all looks great. You're very right about that. It looks super cool. It looks like, a Canon Pictures version of Blade Runner and Total Recall and all the stuff you mentioned. And Albert Pune, like he's a guy who does a lot of schlocky stuff with, that's like not great. But whenever he does get a little bit of money, like the few times in his career where he does have like somewhat of a budget, like his movies always look really good. Like they're always like pretty, like memorable, visually in terms of production value. Like, all the money he got for this movie, he obviously put it into like making that set look cool. Cause he didn't put it into like actors or anything like that. Although, Kathy Ireland probably cost a lot of money, I guess. She was pretty famous at this point, but she's not good. But I guess, yeah, maybe that some of the budget went there, but, yeah, like he did that arcade movie we talked about on the show. That movie looks super cool. The
Dollman. Yeah,
Dollman is cool. That Captain America movie he did. Like some of the movies, like early in his career, he actually kind of got budgets for, and they, they've got a style to them. They got a panache, even if they're not the best movies in the world. And this movie certainly does as well. But it's, I don't know, like Kathy Ireland's not good, so she doesn't really like command the screen. And her character, like most of what happens in this movie is like somebody will grab Kathy Ireland and they're like, come on, you're coming with me. And then she goes, like they walk like across the really good looking set. And then like they get to the other side of the set. And then somebody will go, Kathy Ireland, you're on this side of the set now. Like, come on, I'm kidnapping you. We're going over it. And then like they'll walk again to like a different part of the set, and it's like, she's very, her character's passive. The performance is passive. Like it just like really gets tedious and boring after a while. I thought, because like kind of almost nothing happens. Like there isn't much going on here. Surprisingly little for, this is like the fourth or fifth one we've watched, and pretty much it's just people walking, I guess. So maybe I can't fault this movie too much for that, because it is just people kind of walking from one place to another over and over. Like, oh, we're in this kind of cave now. Oh, we're in this kind of cave now. So maybe I shouldn't be too mad at this movie for that. But, yeah, I don't know. Like the story about like how they think she's a spy. Like I don't know. I didn't really ever care about that. I like Tom Matthews a great deal, but he's not really in this very much.
Who's that? Is that the dad?
That is the guy who comes back at the end. He's like the cool guy the love interest guy.
Oh yeah.
He escapes. Yeah. And so he's not in it enough. I like him. He's always pretty good. He's Tommy Jarvis in Part 6, and he's in Return to the Living Dead and stuff like that. He's actually in this Albert Pune movie called Blood Match that I've been wanting to talk about since like Junk Food Dinner number 3 or something. It's been on my list, so maybe at some point we'll get to that. But yeah, I don't know. This is a movie I want to like. I like all the other Albert Pune movies I've ever seen, but this one, I don't know. I'm just not into it. And I don't. Maybe it's Kathy Ireland's fault, but a couple of years later, she was in National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1, which is a movie I love, and I think she's really good in that. So maybe it's not. I mean, maybe it's just the way she was directed or something, or I don't know. I don't know what it is with this movie, but I don't really care for it.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, I'm not going to try and claim that this is a great movie. Let me ask you this, though. Like, did you grow up a Kathy Ireland devotee?
I actually did. I had a crush on her as a kid because of National Lampoon's. And I mean, she was just like everywhere. I mean, like if you went to like the store with your parents, like there'd be a cardboard cutout of her by the beer, like in every single store for years and years and years. So she was everywhere, but for me, it was National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1, which is why I loved her, which was actually a long time after this. That came out in 1993, so 5 years later. So
I think this is like the first ever thing that she did on screen, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. Yeah, I was going to say, like, yeah, I feel like when National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1 came out, that was like when she was like Kathy Ireland. So this Alien from L.A. is they probably did get her pretty much on the cheap. This was kind of before she was famous, I think. So, she blew up. She was super famous. She was in Necessary Roughness. That's a great movie. Mom and Dad Saved the World. She's been in some bangers.
Yeah, and she was also in this.
Yeah. And she was in Beauty and the Bandit, which is like the 5th movie in the Smokey and the Bandit franchise when it turned into made-for-TV movies. Those ones that nobody knows about.
Sounds like we've got a candidate for another long-running series to tackle.
I actually bought the box set on DVD with like all 7 Smokey and the Bandit movies, so I'm ready. I'm into that.
Damn, dude, I've only seen that first.
Oh, they're good.
Are they?
They're good.
That's not the reputation that they typically hold.
Well, they get weird. Part 3 is like a very bizarre fever dream of a movie. But I actually haven't seen the ones after, like the made-for-TV ones that came later in like the 80s and 90s. I haven't seen, but so I can't speak on those. But the first 3 are good.
Maybe we'll find out someday, I guess. But I think we've found out now about the alien from L.A. You see, she was an alien because to these Atlanteans, Los Angeles is like another planet. So that's why the title is what it is.
Also, they're aliens too, because like they crash landed, which doesn't make sense because because A, they look like humans, and B,
they speak English.
They speak English. And for like that title to really make sense that she's the alien from LA because she's from, Earth, like the top side of Earth, like then they would have to not be aliens as well, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of muddy. It's kind of muddy in there. But I do like the idea that, that she's the alien, that she's the weirdo coming down. Like, I think that's a funny thing. They don't really explore it, but it's funny in the title, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I had a decent time with this. Even if she was not great at acting, I can't necessarily complain about spending 90 minutes with Kathy Ireland on my TV, and maybe we will get around to reviewing Loaded Weapon someday, because that was a huge part of my childhood for sure.
Yeah, that's been on my list to do since like episode 3 or something. I love that movie.
Well, let me ask you this then. What is on your list for our next episode of Junk Food Supper?
Well, I want to ask you, you made reference earlier that we're going to find out about the guy who produced this movie or whatever in a couple of weeks. Are you going to be continuing this experiment deep into Schlocktober, the science fiction movie franchise. Are you going to be doing it in Schlocktober, Sean?
No, I won't be. So that may have been a misspoken statement earlier. There will be a pause during Schlocktober, but in November, the journey continues.
Okay. All right. Well, as long as we're taking a pause for Schlocktober, I guess. But okay. Well, I got something for you. It is Schlocktober. And so I'm going to be picking a spooky movie. But the way I want to do this is that I want to play a game to decide which movie I'm going to pick. To play the Saw music here.
Oh, man. It's too late at night for this kind of a game. Now I am terrified.
You're probably scared over there with the Saw music.
Man, can you play this, on an earlier record time? Maybe with Kevin Moss here to protect me?
That actually would be ideal. Kevin has never seen the Saw movie, so he would not be scared of the Saw music. Okay, so I'm going to give you two choices. I'm going to give you a choice of a movie you've rated 4 stars on Letterboxd that I know you have seen. So I know you like it. 4 stars means you like it, right?
Yeah.
And this is a movie called Tales from the Crypt Demon Night. You like this movie. You would say you like this movie. Is that correct?
I do like that movie. Now,
Okay.
Do I like it as much as Bordello of Blood? I don't know. I think I like Bordello more, don't I?
Oh, that's a very interesting opinion.
It's got Bordello in the title.
That's true.
Which is the one with Billy Zane?
Billy Zane's in Demon Night.
Oh, maybe I like Demon Night more.
Demon Night is I think more well regarded. I like them both, but this is a movie you know you like, and you can go with this one. I'm going to give you the option to go with Tales from the Crypt Demon Night to kick off the spooky season, or you can pick What's in the Box, which is a movie that I think you would like as much or more than Demon Night, and that you would like to kick off the spooky season by watching, and that you would like to talk about after watching with me. So you can go with the mystery thing that I think you will like more, or as much or more. It's of comparable quality, this movie. Or you can go with the movie you already know you like. That is my Saw-like proposal to you. Live or die, Sean. Will you trust your friend and co-host enough to pick a movie he thinks you'll like, or will you go with the safe movie that you already know you like?
Well, let me ask you this. Do I get any kind of a hint about this movie? I mean, at least a year of release date? I mean, anything?
Well, yes, it's a horror movie. It came out within 10 years of Tales from the Crypt Demon Night. I would say that if you saw the first 10 minutes, you would want more. That's something I would say about this movie. I can't say for certain that you've seen it before. It could be that you're a virgin when it comes to this movie.
And it's not Cherry Falls.
I can't comment on that.
I'm going in the box and hoping that it is Cherry Falls.
It actually is Cherry Falls. That's very astute.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Oh, thank goodness. We're finally doing it?
We are doing it. That's my jigsaw trap for you.
Wow.
Is that your trust in me would have paid off by us finally doing Cherry Falls, and you passed the test, Sean.
I don't know why I trusted you. I mean, I'm glad that I did. I'm shocked that I did, because I feel like the track record is maybe not there for me to have just, given you this blind trust, but now I'm relieved that I did.
I'm very surprised, especially after last week, although I think the 3 weeks preceding last week, I think you were pretty favorable about the movies I picked, but I feel like I did last week ruin all trust. Although I
didn't really love your baseball movie.
Well, yeah, but you like Shin Kamen Rider and you like Thief, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we're batting. What would that be?
500.
1,000.
Yeah,
500. But I can't take any credit for the movie last week. I didn't see it beforehand. We got to blame random Letterboxd user who suggested that movie to me for that. But anyway, your trust did pay off, and we are going to be talking about Cherry Falls.
It's quite a miracle. I thought this day would never come because I was certain it would never be me that would pick it. But I'm glad that, man. And Kevin Moss won't even be here to witness it.
I know. It's very sad for him. I mean, I guess we can tell him what it was like after we watch it. You know, we can tell him how much we liked it. That's the closest he'll ever get to Cherry Falls.
We could send him a link to the episode so that he could maybe listen to it.
We'll send him the link on Stitcher. That way he'll open it up to listen to it and it won't be there. And he'll be like, what the fuck?
That's our little trick.
You see, if you watch the first 10 minutes, you'll want more because Jay Moore is in the film, you see.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was my
I get
Jigsaw.
That's like wordplay.
Yeah. See, because in the Saw movies, Jigsaw always gives them clues, you see. And also, I said that I don't know if you've seen the movie before, you could be a virgin to it. That's a very big hint, though, I feel, because the movie's about virgins. But I really worked out this whole Jigsaw thing. I had fun with it, you see.
You know what? I thought that you were Jigsaw himself for a moment there. These clues were so well constructed, yet chilling at the same time that I thought I was talking to a regular Jigsaw over there.
Mm-hmm. Well, Cherry Falls.
Awesome. And not a moment too soon.
Yeah. The perfect time, kicking off Schlocktober with a spooky movie.
It is spooky.
That's what I've heard. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to that. I look forward to the Schlocktober season in general. I can't believe that it's already time for another Schlocktober. Feels like it was just here. And hopefully we get into all kinds of spooky antics over the course of the month.
I think we will. We're going to be doing some grandpa movies. I think I'm going to do some Hammer horror movies, which I'm excited about.
Oh, I like that. Is that new Saw movie coming out this month of October?
It is. I think it comes out next Friday.
Oh, wow. You going to see that thing?
Oh, yeah. I'm very excited. I've been marathoning the entire series to get back on track for it. I'm stoked.
Even the Chris Rock one?
No, not that one. That one sucks.
Okay, good.
It's not. I don't even think it's in continuity. It doesn't count.
Yeah. Well, exciting stuff. There's a new Saw movie coming out, and we'll be reviewing a semi-forgotten slasher movie from the late 90s, early 2000s. And that'll be cool.
I agree.
But until then, do all of the things on the internet that we always tell you to do at the end of the show. Go to junkfooddinner.com. That's where you get back episodes of this show and JFD.
And in late news, there's been unconfirmed reports of an alien escape to the surface of the world.
Go to patreon.com/junktooddinner. We're still doing boner episodes. We're still doing the Bookhouse Boys, reviewing Twin Peaks.
Lord Over has issued a statement which reminds citizens of Atlantis that there is no such thing as a surface world. And rumors of the actual existence of aliens are wrong, misleading, and counterproductive to the future of our great city-state.
All kinds of fun stuff that you can find over there. So go sign up and throw us a few bucks for all the work that we put into this show. Send us an email at jfpodcast@gmail.com.
Anyone who thinks they may have had contact with an alien, female or older male, should report immediately to General Rykov at Government House. There is a reward.
Send us a voicemail at our voicemail number. We're on some social medias and all that stuff.
Finally, the statement stresses once and for all, aliens do not exist, the surface world does not exist, and Wanda Sagnussum is a mere figment of your imagination.
Nobody told us how wide the world could be. It's so hard to focus. We only see what we want to see. No one controls us.
on the internet if you like to, but maybe the best place to find us is on Discord.
Where are we going? Places we've never been. My eyes are open. I wanna fall in love again. Untied emotion, I'm gonna lead you to my arms. Here I am, waiting to hold you. Take my hand, come and let me show you to the state of the heart. It will hold you together if your world comes apart, and you know who you are. It will all be so easy when you listen to the state of your heart.
Come hang out in our Discord.
State of your heart.
There's a link to it on junkfoodthere.com, or just hit us up online and we'll send you that link.
Darling, if you're insecure, I'll be there to reassure. Open up your heart and trust. There's a place for us.
But until next week, this is your friend, Senpyro, your other friend, Perky Beantown Bowman, saying keep washing them dishes.
Come and let me show you to the state of the heart. It will hold you together when your world comes apart, and you know who you are. It will all be so easy when you listen to the state of your heart. State of your heart. State of your heart. It will all be so easy when you listen to the state of your heart.
Kathy, I was in Denton while we were making the film, except the day that I was on location, you were not there. I guess you were off on another field, like practicing your kicks or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's nice to have a chance to meet you along with all the other people from Necessary Reference.
Thank you.
How did you prepare for this role? Because you actually have to kick the ball, don't you? So
I do actually have to kick. Actually, when I went on the audition, I was under the impression that the person who got this part was going to have a kicking machine, this device that makes you look like you're an amazing kicker. But I still wanted to make it look as realistic as I could, and I only had 2 weeks to prepare. I worked with a soccer coach, and we played soccer every day. I learned how to kick soccer style since my character comes from a soccer background. And when I arrived in Texas, I was immediately after I got off the plane, I was put into football camp, and I found out there was going to be no kicking device. And they introduced me to my kicking coach, and I learned that I had to actually kick the ball. They had a stunt double for the 50-yard field goals, but I basically had to be able to kick it up high enough to look realistic. And I'm very athletic, which helped in my favor, but ball sports were completely new to me, especially football. I mean, not only did I have to learn all the rules, but I had to really learn how to play. And when I first started kicking, it was really embarrassing. I was kicking rounders where they just kind of rolled on the ground, and everybody was a little bit nervous. But we